you made your first record, Swamped. You must have been in your early 20s at the time, huh?
I think I had written those tunes when I was about 20, and I started the process of I had gotten the job working with Laurie Lewis and Grant Street at the same time I was in college as an art student. I was sneaking into all the music classes and cramming my head full of as much classical and jazz theory as I could at the time. And uh, I remember bumping into Mike Marshall, the amazing mandolin player, fiddle player,
Yeah.
producer. And I said, "Hey, I got these tunes, and I'd love to record an album sometime." And so we'd get together, every week and work on my tunes and talk about the recording process and what he could offer for me to make an album. And so eventually we made a demo and sent it to Rounder Records and secured a deal. And I think part of the deal was, it was helping that I was in Laurie's band and touring consistently, and also I was freshly the national banjo champion, so that helped too. And that's kind of what kicked everything off.
Right, and the record's a fantastic. It's a fantastic record, especially for your first go at making something under your own name.
I appreciate that. I remember making the album and being very not anxious or pressured, but I remember very practiced. I practiced a lot, and I remember being in my head about it more so than I am about making albums now. It was more of a from here than from here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, than from here. It was more from here and here than from the heart, And so I hear that, but
Right.
if I step away from myself and I listen to it, I'm like, that's pretty impressive for a 20-year-old to throw that together,
And it's good. You were very prepared, obviously, going in. You didn't just have a loose idea like, oh, I've got these tunes kind of. It sounds like you did your homework before.
Yeah. And Mike and I were kind of the same mind of going in prepared. Like, I remember he wanted to be extremely prepared, and we'd go over stuff, consistently and make sure everything was ready. It's a lot different now when I record albums. There's a lot more like...
Well, the whole process is different with the industry. I mean, totally. You can record for almost no money.
Yeah. I mean, this is
one shot.
For my latest album, this was basically the recording studio for my parts,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a whole different scenario in the recording industry. But and so where you rehearsed with the band, did you rehearse with the band, or was it Sidemen that you went in on and kind of, you had one day to pay enough money to pay them for the session?
They were all friends that I had either grown up with, like Rob Ikes, the Dobro player. Mm-hmm. We came up at the same time in the Bay Area. We're about the same age, and we used to jam all the time at either his house or my house and pretend we were Bela and Jerry playing duets. We'd learn those early Bela Fleck tunes that Bela wrote and did as duets with Jerry, and I'd struggle through as best as I could, but it was really a good learning process of sitting with Rob and picking those tunes. And then the guitar player was Jim Nunnally, who's a fantastic bluegrass rhythm guitarist in the Bay Area and studio engineer and producer. Daryl Anger was on a cut. I remember that. Todd Phillips was the bass player, and Todd, everyone knows the incredible bass playing of Todd Phillips. Who else was on? Joe Craven played some fiddle and mandolin on the album.
So it's a cast of characters from the Bay Area, but a very
people
strong
I knew.
cast.
People we used to jam together quite a bit. So